This guy clueless. Awesome. Yeah, welcome in. If you want to come in, I'd love to have a conversation with you. It won't let me request yet, but I love talking to people who disagree with me as long as people can keep it polite. And I don't know. Tap on the screen, you guys. That gets it out to more people. These first 5 minutes, 10 minutes are the most important in terms of how many people are going to show up in the live. It's based on how many times you share the live, how many times you tap on the screen, and also if you do the heart me and if you're commenting. So let's get going, you guys. The first claim that I want to make here is that vaccines don't cause autism. I don't think that should be controversial, but somehow it usually is. Let's see, pop out chat. Okay. All right, everybody. Hello from Brantford, Ontario. Welcome in, Canadian James. What early signs can I look for in my 16-month-old? Drew, you're at the perfect age for starting to look at 16 months. You really are. You should be looking to see if they're making eye contact. Do they respond to their name? How's their language coming? A little bit about myself and why I choose to talk about these things is I have 2 children with autism. I have a 3.5-year-old and I have a nearly 2-year-old. I'm also a board-certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies, and I've been a board-certified behavior analyst for a while. I'm currently the CEO at a company that provides services to people with autism throughout the state of Utah. During the day, it's structured more as a parent support group. During the evening, it's a little bit more of an advocacy page. Again, it's calmer than a debate, but it might be a little bit more uncomfortable than purely a parent support group. So we want to have real discussions, hard discussions. If you think vaccines cause autism, let me know in the chat. Does anyone here believe that vaccines contribute to autism? I want to know, do you believe that vaccines contribute to autism? I want to know if there's anyone here that believes that. And maybe there's not, and that would be okay. But if you do, I want to have a conversation with you. And sometimes I try to invite people up, and if you don't want to come up, that's okay. But I think it's important that we have these discussions and we calmly talk to each other. Ray, I sent you an invite, but you don't have to come up if you don't want to. Let's see. I do, but please don't get mad at me. Miss Nicole, I'm not mad at you. Come up and talk. I want to hear what you think about it. This is a safe place that you can express your opinion. I can disagree with you, but we're polite up here. Look, you guys need to know something, especially if you're an autism parent. Everything that I do is to advocate for parents of kids with autism because it's rough out here, you guys. It's hard. We don't have it very easy, and we don't need to make it harder on each other. Oh, no worries, you guys. If you're nervous about it, let's see. The genes load the gun, the environment pulls the trigger. Bam. What environment? Are you talking about the vaccine, though? Is the vaccine part of the environment that you're talking about? Stop vaccinating your kids. Oh, my goodness. Nostalgic mama. Don't do that. Absolutely not. Do you know what's these vaccines? I'm not sure what you're saying there, nostalgic. I don't think vaccines alone cause autism, no, but genetics too. Hey, you know what? If anyone wants to come up and have a conversation about it, you guys can come on up. I don't know if you guys can see the request box. Sometimes it's hidden for the first little bit, but hopefully we can get it there so that you can see it. Shoot. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. What causes autism? All right. So let's talk about what causes autism. We know some things that don't cause autism. Okay. We know that vaccines do not cause autism. We know this. We know that vaccines do not cause autism. We know that Tylenol in pregnancy is not likely to contribute to autism. That we know that for sure. But let's see here. Let me pull up a quote. All right, guys, I'm going to pull up a quote here. All right. The CDC updated their website, if you don't know. Okay. The CDC updated their website. Let me tell you what it says. And this should make us mad. If you can get behind this statement, I'm concerned. What I want you to do is I want you to look at this. I'm going to read this to you and tell me what is the problem here. The CDC says the claim vaccines do not cause autism, because on the CDC website, it used to say vaccines do not cause autism. And now within this past year, they've removed that and said the claim vaccines do not cause autism is not an evidence-based claim, because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. What do you think? What do you think? What's the problem with that? What's the problem with how this phrases it? Let me tell you why this should bother us a little bit, okay? Because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. Okay, do you know how much research has been done about vaccines? Do you know how many studies there have been? This isn't something that just never got studied. This has been studied more than just about anything in medical science. For sure, the most within the autism medical science. Vaccines and autism. Dozens and dozens of studies and meta-analyses looking through the safety of vaccines and autism. And do you know what they say, or do you know what they see when they compare millions of children, some who have autism and some who don't, some who are vaccinated and some who are not? What they find is that there is no correlation between vaccines and autism. And so the reason that this message bothers me from the CDC is because in science, you cannot prove a negative. So that's like saying, you know what? You really can't rule out the possibility that vaccines cause autism. And also, you know what? You really can't prove or rule out the possibility that wearing clothes causes autism. You really can't rule out the possibility that driving in a car causes autism. You really can't rule out the possibility that giving your baby a kiss causes autism, right? Like, those things sound ridiculous, right? But there's never been any studies on those. Vaccines, there's clear studies with no correlation. And so to be able to say like, oh, we can't rule out the possibility is just keeping fear alive unnecessarily. All right, you guys. Anyone here still think vaccines cause autism that want to come up and talk to me? Anyone here want to talk? Robert Walker, you're saying wrong. Do you want to chat? It won't let you. I don't think you have enough followers, Robert. But remember, we're polite here. This isn't a like big debate platform. This is a, hey, I want you to think about this from the parent's perspective. It's not letting a lot of people. Let me do this. Let me do this, you guys. I think I can fix it. I don't think this is working. Let's see. I think I have to start with this. Here we go. All right, you guys. If you think vaccines cause autism and you want to have a peaceful dialogue about it, please hop in the box. We're going to have a good conversation. This is going to be a good day. I go live every day, you guys. I go live for a couple hours, usually in the morning as a parent support group for people with autism or kids with autism. Then in the evening, it's more of my advocacy time. But all the time, it's with kindness. It's with love. How you doing? What can I call you? Lot? LOTF? Hello. Where are you from? Can you hear me? All right. That was weird. Going on to the next one. All right. That was a little weird, right? A little giggle. All right, you guys. Anyone else feeling like they are brave enough to come up and have a conversation? It's not something to be scared of. If you really believe it, I want to know. I want to talk to you about it, and I do it with love. Okay, Janice asks a good question. Is there an explanation as to why more children have autism in comparison to 20 to 30 years ago? Janice, yes. What a wonderful question. Do you know when they came up with the autism diagnosis as it exists today? It's only 13 years old. 13 years ago, before we had the current diagnostic criteria, autism was just the profound cases of autism. And then we had Asperger's as a separate diagnosis, but most people didn't even pursue that diagnosis, and there weren't all the screeners. Today, they have autism screeners that every pediatrician does at 18 months and 24-month appointments. That's best practice. And so at 18 months, 24 months, they do these screeners. And so one, the diagnosis got bigger. It encompasses a lot more. And then second, we're screening for it nonstop. And the third is we have actual supports to help people with autism. And so 20 years ago, there weren't. Why would you get your kid diagnosed if that didn't mean that you were going to go get therapy that you need? There weren't available services. All it was a stigma instead of actually finding solutions to help. And so there is no evidence of an increase in actual cases of autism. There is only evidence of increase in diagnoses of autism. All right, we got some people in the box. Let's keep having this conversation. It looks like they hop back out. You guys, if you think vaccines cause autism and you're open to having a polite dialogue about it, please request up. And if not, I'll just send some invites up if people think that that vaccines cause autism. Cowgirl, come on up. Come on up. Can you request up? Oh, we got some people. Unstoppable Moya. Where are you calling in from? Unstoppable? Unstoppable, can you hear me okay? We can't hear you. You're muted. Can you hear us? All right, they got down. We got more people. Oh my goodness, this box is being weird, you guys. This box is being weird. Okay. Well, look, I'm not afraid of data. People who say autism doesn't have Amish doesn't have autism, and Amish also doesn't have vaccines. Well, that claim comes around a lot. Let's address this. Let's look up what are the autism rates of Amish, and then what are some reasons as to why that could be. All right, you guys, while we're looking this up, let's keep talking. James says, do you think RFK's comments on Tylenol causing autism has led to more ableism and bullying? 100%. And you know what it's really done? Is it's harmed mothers. That's who all of these conspiracy theories move to harm, is autism mothers, because it's the mother who is parenting the child most often. It is the mother who is deciding whether or not to get vaccinated. It's the mother who's taking Tylenol during pregnancy, and then to go and put it back on the mother when there's not good evidence on that. Autism moms have enough they're going through. We don't need to be pushing blame onto them. Okay. Autism exists in every human population. Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition with strong genetic roots. Every country, every culture, every religious group, including the Amish. Okay. I mean, there's a lot that's underdiagnosed in the Amish community. Do you think that they have as much diagnoses as they could? Like, you really think that they just don't have autism, or do you think it's more likely that they just don't diagnose autism? All right, you guys, let's get some more people up. We got some people here. We got some people. Ruby, hello. Let's see if it works. I've had some bad luck loading the guests in. Let's see if we can hear you. Can you hear us okay, Ruby?
Hi, yes. How are y'all doing?
Oh, good. I can hear you. Where are you from? Where are you calling in from?
I'm in New Mexico.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. And are you hopping in because you think vaccines might contribute to autism?
Yes, sir. I've worked with autistic kids for many
You cut out there.
years. I also have a good detox protocol. Has been able to reduce some really serious symptoms in her son. He's now verbal. He's now potty trained, and this is after 3 years of CBD, a very good medical quality CBD oil. And what we find is that by detoxing a lot of the toxins that children can be exposed to, autism is not necessarily one particular thing, it's a cumulative effect over time. Being exposed to toxins, it can be anything from chemicals in the home to certain vaccines during pregnancy, other procedures and medications that can accumulate in the body, and at some point the scale tips. And that's what I truly believe. And we're not trying to shame moms or to make things more stressful. We're trying to make it so that moms can have healthy babies that don't have the risk of this damage. Now, is there a genetic connection? Yes, because there are some kids, we find the higher intelligence kids very often are injured because the brain is able to compensate for the injury. And so that is why we see a lot of the behaviors that we see. So, yes, they may be able to make a genetic connection, but that does not mean that it's not a cumulative damage over time because of exposure to toxins. Now, that is just absolutely published data. And I think it's important that we give parents the opportunity to know the things that are potentially causing it so that we all have an opportunity to see our kids grow up without um, any possibility of injury to their potential success.
Okay. Okay. You're not an autism mom, are you?
Well, no, but I have family members that have had injured children, and like I said, I've worked with injured
Can you
babies
please not talk about
for
it
many
like
years.
injured? Like you have no
Talk about it
idea
like
how
what?
offensive that is. Like honestly,
What?
that to call people with autism injured, that's extremely ignorant.
Well, it's an injury that's reversible. Okay, that's
No.
the main thing that we need to know. We're not trying to
No.
embrace
No.
injury
It's
and
not an
not look
injury,
at
Ruby.
possible cures and possible treatments.
You're speaking ableism right now. Talking about my kid, who's a beautiful kid with nothing wrong with him, and talking about him being injured. It's not something to be reversed. It's the way his brain was developed,
Well,
Ruby.
I'm sorry, but I've seen babies go in for their shots and come out of the emergency room blind. Okay, and so until you've seen the injury in real life,
What does blind
when
have
you've
to do
seen a
with
normal
what
child
does
go for their shots and come home and stop having eye contact,
I mean, you're getting all upset, but
that means that baby was able before they went in for their shots, and when they came home, they were no
okay.
longer able.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
You're unable to have this conversation without getting emotional. If you're able to continue and have a good dialogue and understand from the perspective of maybe an autism parent, you can continue. But this isn't a debate platform like you'll see online. This is a meaningful
Well, then
conversation to
quit guilt tripping me for talking about the fact that it's proven that these shots cause nerve injury to babies' brains. Okay, quit gaslighting and blowing smoke up people's skirts about whether we know for a fact that these things cause injury or not.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to disconnect you just because I don't think that you really want to engage and have a conversation. But I'll definitely address the things that you talked about because this is my platform and I'm able to do that. And so long as people can be up here and be kind and have a good discussion, you can be up here. But I am a fierce advocate for people with autism and for parents of kids with autism. And you said a lot of misinformation up here and harmful misinformation. First of all, you go in and talk about regression and you have emotion in your voice, but you don't have a kid that's gone through that. I have a 20-month-old that's going through that right now. My baby, I mean, it's one of those things where you get to know your baby, and little by little you'll feel like you're losing who that person is. And so I really worry about you coming on here and trying to play on people's emotions to be able to blame vaccines. You are right that there are a lot of families that around the same time that a child gets vaccinated is when autism usually starts to show up. But when you look at millions of kids in the studies, that regression occurs equally in kids that don't have vaccines and those that do. So I appreciate you coming up, but I just want to invite people who are willing to come up that can have good conversations. Like, we have a lot of autism parents here, and I'm not going to enable people to, one, share hurtful information, or to talk about our kids as though they're damaged goods or they're toxic, that we need to rid their body of toxins. That is not what the evidence says. You can't just come up here and say that there's evidence for that. There's not. There's no evidence. Check out the references in my bio. Okay, you guys. I'm sorry we had to start off that way. This is totally meant to be a positive space, and you can believe that vaccines cause autism, and this is a safe space to share, your regression story and what happened, and also process a little bit about what factors could be at play. All right, you guys, let's see what other guests we have up here. We got a lot of people, and I think we set a good example here. Lexi, I'll bring you up. I didn't get to talk to you this morning. How are you, Lexi?
Hi, yeah, I haven't gotten to talk to you in a couple of days. Sorry, I've been a little MIA.
That's okay. How have you been?
I've been good, hanging in there, dealing with the autism parent life.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, you guys. Just so everyone knows, as we're coming in, I just want to do a quick introduction to this channel. If this is your first time here and you're just seeing me, put FYP in the chat. That lets me know who's new here. We got a lot of new people. It also gets it out onto the For You page for more people. So put FYP in the chat if you're new here. I kind of like to get a gauge for who's just walking into this. So my name's Kylan. I got 2 kids with autism. My whole life is about autism. Sounds like Lexi's is too. I mean, it can get the best of us. I'm a board certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies, and I'm the CEO of a company that provides services to beautiful children with autism who are not damaged goods. I won't tolerate anyone talking about our babies like that, okay? The whole purpose of this live is to make sure that we have a place where we can stand up for our kids and that we can stand up for truth and evidence. All right, everybody. Lexi, you're welcome to hang out. We're doing peaceful conversations here. And let's see who else we have in the box to bring up. We got lots of people, you guys, lots of good discussions coming. Let's start here with Raka.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
I just want to let everybody know that we'll get to you as quickly as we can. We can only have one conversation with one person at a time. So please be patient with us and respectful, and we will do the same for you.
Yeah, for sure. And a little hack, if you want to make sure that I read your comment out loud for the next little bit, as long as it's manageable, I will read every comment that comes through on YouTube. So we're streaming on YouTube right now at the same time. Links in my bio. If you really want to get something across, or if you want me to read it out loud, I will read it. I will address it, and it's in the YouTube. It might make these conversations a little harder, but I'm just trying to get the YouTube a little bit more, get some more subscribers on there. We just started that. So, yeah. All right, you guys, let's have some conversations. Raka, what's your story? Where are you from, man? Or, sorry if you're not a man. Raka. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Where are you from?
Hey, I am from Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so I have a story. Well, I see your question here. Request if you disagree. I don't believe vaccines cause autism
Okay.
because I have 2 little boys. My 5-year-old, he's autistic, nonverbal. He has a gene mutation called SCN2A, but it's basically his neurons don't fire all the way. They don't fire all of them do. But he is very able. And I have another little boy who is 4. They both went to the same pediatrician. They both got their vaccines. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with vaccines, and they're both healthy.
Yeah.
But I do also have wondered about the whole detox. You see it everywhere. It's
Yeah.
very confusing, and it makes you think, like, I wonder if I detox my son, if it'll help him just at least communicate.
Yeah.
But that's not the point here. He has a device that he communicates through. He's still working on it. So there's ways to be able to use communication no matter what. One thing that always stuck with me back when I was in school, I was taking some child development classes when I was pregnant at the time, actually. It was for my major that I wanted to do. And our professor mentioned something about warning sign. I'm like, if you do get pregnant, don't get a whole lot of ultrasounds because you could have a chance of your child having autism. Well, I had my
Hmm.
first son at 33, and I was, they call it geriatric pregnancy because you're older. So they gave me a lot of ultrasounds, compared to my second son. They didn't give me a whole lot of ultrasounds, which I thought it was weird. So I don't know if that has something to do with it or not,
Yeah. Can I
but
can
I
I
just,
address a few of
it,
these things? Because
correct.
I love the way you come up here and talk. This is the kind of conversation we're looking for. If you're coming in hot, that's not really the type of conversations we have in this space. I love to have real conversations. If you think I'm wrong about something, let's fact check it. I go on to so ChatGPT isn't the best. ChatGPT tends to be a yes man. I have pulled up here Site.ai, which I pay for, but it's a tool that can summarize all the research on a given topic. And it's more for educational purposes. It's difficult to read. It's not an easy to read format, but I'll pull it up. This is what we do here. If you think I'm wrong, let's fact check on the spot and let's learn together. But I've been doing this a while. I have a pretty good sense of things. But Raka, let me go through some of this. So the detox stuff. My thought on, and hold that thought actually. I told people I'd read what happens on the YouTube, and I got to fulfill that promise here. Savannah says, my 4-year-old is vaccinated and she is autism diagnosed, nonverbal. I have 1.5-year-old boy twin who isn't vaccinated and is autistic. For my family, vax have no relation. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. A lot of people so I don't like it either way. I think we can say, oh, my kid got vaccinated and then he regressed after. Well, that's a sample size of one kid. And just because it happened in that order, you can't prove that it was vaccines that made that happen. But the opposite is true too, that even if you have 2 kids, one vaccinated, one not, and however it plays out, that's not a study, that's not even a correlation, it's an anecdote. And so the correlations come when you look at millions of kids. That's what you need to look at as a sample size. And is there any statistical impact, anything significant, statistically speaking? And time and time again with vaccines, it's not there. So Savannah, thank you for sharing. Ejo says, you really are doing the Lord's work on here, man. And that should mean more coming from an atheist. Ejo, thank you for real. You're the man. Keep it up. I love it. That's amazing. Okay, so let me talk about the detox stuff, Raka. Is it Raka? Yeah, Raka. Oh no, what
Yeah.
have I done? What have I done? You guys, I have messed things up. Give me just a second while we get back here. Da, 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 da. Oh no. Oh no, you guys. Hold on a second. There we go. We're back. We're back. Shouldn't be clicking buttons here. The detox stuff is interesting, okay? So when you have a child that gets diagnosed with autism, you suddenly have 1,000 people wanting to tell you what to do and thinking that they have all the answers for you. And it is so hard to stay away from predatory marketing. Let me explain the theory behind a lot of detox. Detox isn't simply like naturalistic stuff that makes them feel good. The whole premise of detox is that autism is caused due to heavy metals in the body. And when you compare autistic kids and not autistic kids, it's not like autistic kids have dangerous amounts of heavy metal. They're just kids, they're the physical aspects of their body are the same. And the heavy metals, some of these detox treatments, it can go as far as like chelation therapy, which is extremely dangerous. That's medicine that you give people for like heavy lead poisoning. Now, I read a statistic that 1 in 15 kids with autism, their parents give them chelation therapy. This is very hardcore medication that strips the blood of metals in the body. And this includes this includes metals that your body needs. And so people end up in the ER because of iron deficiencies. Kids have died from chelation therapy. And yet 1 in 15 families are led to believe that their child has toxins in their body. And so when people talk like the way that the previous guest did, it's not just like your theory and sharing your opinion. You're leading people to fall under this belief system that something is clouding their brain, these toxins that we have to get out of their body. And the studies just don't suggest that, and in fact show that a lot of those treatments can be harmful. Now, not all detox is chelation therapy. There's other things like clay baths and other things. Some of them are not necessarily dangerous. It's just time consuming and expensive. But just know that I have dug deep in the research. My references are in my bio and my link tree. Check my link tree and the references on detox. There is zero evidence that any detox procedure impacts any autism symptoms. This has been researched heavily, and there's no evidence of that. I'm talking too much. What do you think, Raka?
I still don't believe vaccines cause autism. Number one.
Yeah, good.
I don't. I think that's asinine to have that thought.
Yeah.
I knew my son had autism by 10 months. The only reason why I knew it is not because my family, I have nobody in my family that shows autism signs, but I've been around a lot of people who have autism. I work with a lot of children who have signs of autism, and I could kind of tell here and there, and I knew it, and I asked the doctor, and of course they were like, he's just growing. He'll get it together. But he didn't. He didn't walk till he was 2.
Yeah.
So I knew something was going on, and I could not get him diagnosed, but I got him on physical therapy. I got him on occupational therapy. I just could not put him in speech at the time.
Yeah.
But I took all the steps because I was very proactive about it. Now, the detox, I was afraid to do that because once I found out through genetics that he had a gene mutation called SCN2A, I don't want to mess with anything, balancing anything in his brain, which scares me because he could possibly have seizures, and I don't want that, you know?
Yeah.
I'd rather him have autism and STEM all day. I love him. He's perfect. He's an amazing little boy with a great personality, and I think he basically just picked me to be his mom. That's my belief on it.
Yeah, we got to love our kids. And I mean, I made a post today that it was pretty much like, hey, we can have hard days and sometimes wish our kid was neurotypical. Like, that can happen. But really, when we look into it, it's not that we want to fix our kid. It's not that he needs a cure. It's that we want to cure our kids' inability to speak. We want to cure the world being so cruel and abusive towards our little ones. People came up just the other day on my live and told me about how their child came home from school with bruises all over their body, and the kid saying that the teacher was wiping spit on him. And this little 6-year-old boy, and I mean, we had to get her off the phone and go talk to the police. And like, I would cure how cruel the world is to our little kids. That's what we need to do. Hold that thought. We got another comment on YouTube. You guys, if you want me to read a comment out loud, usually I can go through some of the TikTok comments, but I don't get to many of them. It's still good to comment on there. Please keep doing it. But the YouTube, since it's so small over there so far, I don't have a lot of subscribers yet. It's pretty slow. So we do have another comment on there I'm going to read. My daughter is currently eating veggie straws, second night of no strict routine, and she is not harming herself, and everyone is peaceful. Anyone else have to let go of a strict bedtime routine? Ashley, wow. Okay. Yes. Sometimes more rules and more routine, if it's not the preferred routine of the person, can lead to problems. And loosening up a little bit can be okay. Keep us posted how that goes. And it might not be here's how you need to look at it is we don't need to get rid of all routines, but can we modify the routine? Because also kids with autism, they thrive with some routine. And so how do you modify it to incorporate some of this freedom, but also still have a good bedtime routine? All right, Raka. So it sounds like you don't think vaccines cause autism, but the detox stuff you were thinking about, do you have any more thoughts about the detox stuff, or do you feel like my explanation was sufficient?
I think your explanation was sufficient.
All right.
And I just want to mention real quick Rebecca's comment right there. My fear isn't what people think about him, but what I'm worried about how society makes him feel about himself. That's my same concern.
That hurts.
I just want society to be more accepting. And I think we're doing a pretty good job, actually, by advocating and speaking out and being loud. And I think that's what we just need to continue to do.
I agree. All right.
Thank you for having me here, though.
Thank you for coming up. And you have a good one, and we can chat another time. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys. We are having conversations about autism. We're having conversations about advocacy and how to take care of our kids with autism. And a lot of it comes around some wild conspiracies that are still around. I found a few things. Look, if you have experienced regression with your child, I am not mad at you for believing vaccines caused it. I don't believe that it did. My daughter regressed and she's vaccinated. But I don't believe that it did because looking at the general body of evidence, it doesn't support it. But I totally understand where that belief comes from. So, all right, let's keep on looking at things, you guys. Let's keep getting people up. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. Oh, we got a lot of people up here. Oh, Destiny, I'll let you up, Destiny. We can hang out. How you doing, Destiny?
Hanging in there. It's been a rough 48 hours.
What happened?
I don't know. Like, all last week I was so hopeful and I was like, oh my gosh, Hudson's doing great. He's eating his applesauce with a spoon. He's doing all these great things. And then the last 48 hours, he's been the meltdowns have been so severe. He's been stimming 24/7. Typically he stims when he's excited. Wow. But it's been constant either vocal stimming or shaking his head, hand flapping. And I'm I know that he's sensory seeking in some way. So I'm trying to squeeze his arms or put him in the swing. And he's not upset. It's just I know how exhausting that has to be for his brain to be in overdrive.
Yeah.
And it's the last, just today, I've been obviously I know he has autism. I know his life's going to look different. But I feel the last couple of days that's kind of hit me extra hard. Yeah. I'm wow, because last week I was when I saw him eating with the spoon, I was maybe he'll have a chance at.
Yeah, you get this glimpse into what his future might look like.
Yeah, and then, I don't like saying high functioning. I don't but for lack of better term, I was maybe he'll be high functioning. Maybe he'll be able to feed himself, and I was feeling so hopeful. And now this week I'm oh my gosh, this is really scary.
Hudson's future is not determined by how he's acting today. And development is not linear. Look at those good days, and those are where his capacity's at right now and where he can be. And obviously there's things with autism that kind of hold people back for a minute. And I mean, he's going to have a couple bad days, and I've seen it time and time again. They have these a week or two that's kind of rough, and then they jump forward even further. And it'll swing back, Destiny. It will, I promise.
I know. I think it's just this whole, it's a roller coaster, and it's some like I said, some days I'm yes, this is awesome. He's doing so good, and I feel now that I have a second child, I'm not seeing the signs that I saw with Hudson.
Yeah.
But in a way, it kind of sucks because I'm Brody's doing things every day, and it's so exciting. And then I'm looking at Hudson, and it's so sad. It breaks my heart that, it's harder when you have a neurotypical child.
You can
because
compare a little bit.
Yeah. I'm I hate it for
You
him. It
compare
hurts
a
my
lot
heart.
of it when you have one neurotypical child and one autistic child
Oh,
because
Yeah.
I've been there, but they are unique. And he, Hudson's going to grow into the beautiful young man that he's meant to be. And right now it's just a little bit of a difficult time. And, all we can do as parents, I feel like, is try to find out what his sensory overload is and then maybe try to find maybe a different way that you haven't already tried to address his sensory overload. And maybe that might help you. I don't know if he's into weighted blankets or into like toys that make noise or lights or something like that. Have
Yeah.
you
We really
tried
want
anything
to.
like that yet?
Yes, we've had so at therapy, they put him on the vibration plate last week and I watched him like his whole body went like limp and he was just staring off into space. It was like scratching his brain in some kind of way. Like he was just so relaxed. And I was like, okay, we've got to get him a vibration plate. So we put that on our taxes checklist because I didn't realize that they were so expensive.
They are
But
so expensive.
I do want
tried
to get him a
one for my
vibration
son
plate.
too, and I was like, no way.
Hey, you
Not
guys,
gonna
if
get
you're in the
that.
chat,
Not yet.
part of this thing is that we are a village. Today, the focus is going to be on people who disagree, but sometimes friends come up for a quick second, and we share these things. But since we're a village, please show love to Destiny in the chat. When one of us is having a rough time, we're all having a rough time, and we need to be here for each other. So, I get that a lot, and that's why I come on live all the time, is because I know if I've had a rough day and I mention something, I got hundreds of people on here who support me and care about me. So that's what this is all about. Are you both in a place that we can bring someone on and see if we can have some good conversations?
Yes, I'm actually going to try to hop off and get some shut eye because I have a root canal in the morning and I am
Boo. Come
deeply
on,
terrified.
Destiny. I want to see what you look like when you get fired up.
No, you don't, because I'll get kicked out of the live and I'll never be allowed back. Look,
All right.
I feel like I'm in a place now, and I feel like this comes from being an autism parent. I'm at a peaceful place in my life where like I don't have the time to argue with people or get feisty, but before my life was chaotic, I would have smiled in my mugshot, okay? And I will for my kid, but like I would argue for funsies.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm not there anymore, and you handle yourself so much better than I do. So
Well,
you're killing it, Kylan.
We're gonna keep it calm today. No one's losing their tempers. We're all loving. Most of the people.
You're
that come
doing
up,
great.
Thanks, Destiny. Good luck with your root canal.
Ugh.
That sucks.
I know. I blame it on my pregnancy. I never had a cavity in my life until I got pregnant.
It's because kids suck everything
They're
out of
little
you. All of the
parasites.
good. Yeah, exactly. Little parasites.
Yes, I got iron deficient, and yep, it's the kids. So I'm gonna try to get some sleep, and I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow.
All right. Good to see you, Destiny.
Hi, Destiny.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Well, hi, Jess. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
We can hear you great. Where are you calling in from, and what's your connection to autism? Do you have one?
Yeah, South Carolina, and my 23-year-old is autistic with
Wonderful.
Tourette's and OCD.
Really? Oh my gosh. How's he doing today?
They are amazing. Actually graduated college last year, a journalism major, works in
Wow.
the journalism department of his university that he graduated from. And so when they were diagnosed, there wasn't a lot of information about autism or Tourette's in the early 2000s.
No.
And so we did a lot of fighting, a lot of kind of learning as we went.
Yeah.
And, I just believed in, I let them be who they are.
Yeah.
I also forced a lot of socializing on them. I'm the queen of dinner parties. So I would have dinner parties and they were forced to kind of socialize. And I think that really helped with school and college and all of that. I remember they called me their junior year at college and said they went to their first college party ever. And I was like, how was that? And they were like, I stood by the wall and watched people. And I'm like, that's great,
Oh my gosh.
But it's like,
Wow.
I had to do a lot of bending because I have 4 other neurotypical children.
Okay, you
And
got a big family here,
yeah,
but it sounds like you've done wonders for your child, and you should be a proud mom. Let me 1 second here. I'm behind on some YouTube comments, and I've told my chat a promise to get more people to subscribe on YouTube. I said if people go over there and they comment, I'm going to try to read what they say. So give me just 1 second. Vindy says,
absolutely.
how, in your opinion, do you think we should go about getting families to trust vaccines again, especially with what has happened with the recent measles outbreak? I'm also in your TikTok live and would love to talk about it with you. Yeah, Vindy, that is a good question. And I think the trouble is when there's language coming from our leadership in the government, like what the CDC says, and I'll read this again. The claim vaccines do not cause autism is not an evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. That language causes fear. That language makes it feel like there is a legitimate possibility that vaccines could cause autism when there have been dozens and dozens of studies. The only reason what they're saying is technically true is because in science you can't prove a negative. And so just like I can't prove that water doesn't cause autism, or cell phones don't cause autism, or wearing glasses doesn't cause autism, we haven't been able to prove that vaccines don't cause autism. But nothing has been studied more, and I believe that vaccines don't cause autism more so than any of those other ridiculous things that I mentioned. So anyway, Vindy, hopefully that answers your question. I think it stems from the fear of possibility is what I'm worried about. Thank you for your patience there. I just wanted to make sure that I gave them a chance to comment on that.
Yeah, no worries. And I did see that someone asked me if I thought that vaccines cause autism. I absolutely do not.
Oh, good.
Like I said, I'm the mother of 5, all vaccinated. I believe that my child is okay. I don't know how to explain this the right way, but my child's a freaking superhero. He is so smart, so amazing, so wonderful, and that is exactly who he was born to be.
Yeah.
I don't think that anything caused that. He like, oh, so his dad is a musician and his dad wrote a song that I fired differently. That's what I believe it is. He just fires differently.
You are. I like you. I like you. You're spot on. You're spot on there. I want to get to more people who I might disagree with some of my thoughts. Do you have anything last that you wanna share with people before I move on to the next person?
Just the last thing is I heard so many people with young children with autism and they're kind of struggling, and I know it's hard. Trust me, I had so many hard days of up nights crying and fighting and arguing and fighting the world for my child. It does get easier.
Yeah. Thank you. Sometimes we need to hear that.
Yeah,
We do.
it does.
We do need to hear that. Thank you. You have a good rest of your night. All
You
right.
too.
If you guys are new here, we are talking autism. We're advocating for people with autism. I want to make sure I'm going to clear everybody out of the chat, just because I really want to make sure that if you request back in, it means that you disagree with me and want to have a meaningful conversation. So I just disconnected everybody. Oops. Oops, I meant to decline everybody. I think I just deleted everybody. Hold on, I'm declining everybody's invite fast. Lexi, you can request back up. I apologize, but I just need to go through. Don't request back up yet. Don't request back up. I'm clearing the box, you guys. Don't request back up yet. All right. Now, if you disagree and you want to have a conversation, I cleared the box. Please join in, and if you want to be part of this conversation in a productive and meaningful way, please request back in. All right. We got Danny loading in. Thank you, Danny, for coming up. How are you? Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from Chicago. How are you, Kylan?
Oh, I'm doing great. Chicago, huh?
Yep,
That's fun.
Chicago.
That's great.
So-
Do you have any connection to autism, or are you just a thinker on the subject?
No, I do. My son, he is 3.5 years old, and he has autism.
Oh my goodness, that's the same age as my son.
Yeah, God bless him. He's level 3 nonverbal. He's been diagnosed since January of 25. So he was like 2.5 when we got the diagnosis. But we started really early with him. We noticed probably at about 10, 11 months old, we noticed he kind of wasn't meeting milestones. He seemed to make eye contact, and he seemed to connect with us, but it just seemed not as much as our older two sons had before. So we kind of knew something wasn't, like the last two. So we looked into it really early. We started speech therapy when he was 13 months old. Developmental and occupational therapy followed right along. And then diagnosed at 2.5, ABA for a year. He's been doing great. He's been doing really good.
That's amazing.
I do agree on the vaccines. My oldest was vaccinated. Never had any issues at all with any of his vaccinations. My second son had some other health issues where we were worried about suppressing his immune system, so we held off on vaccines for a while. And then with our third, we just didn't vaccinate. Not that we were afraid of autism, we just didn't. And he was the one who was diagnosed with autism. So obviously, I saw no correlation.
There's real
there.
side effects of vaccines. Like,
there are.
My prompt here is not even to talk about any of those, but I recognize that they're there. Like I still personally believe it's much safer for the general population to do it. But like, yeah, I mean that makes sense what you guys did.
Yeah. So then for our third, for Dylan, which was the one who has autism, we didn't vaccinate. He did end up obviously having autism. But what I don't agree with you too much is the detox. Now, obviously, anything I tell you is anecdotal. Yeah. It's just, from my one experience with my one son. But we had tested him for heavy metal toxicity. And we found that he had extremely high levels of aluminum, cadmium, arsenic, uranium, and a couple more that I'm forgetting. Mercury. The only one he wasn't too high on, I believe, was lead at the time. And we started a heavy metal detox. And we did that for 5 months. And after 5 months, all his levels were back to baseline. We're back to normal, healthy levels for a child his age. And just a couple of weeks into starting the heavy metal detox, Kylan, we noticed amazing results. Excuse me. But my son would not sleep at all. I'm talking maybe between 3 and 6 hours a day. And it was just kind of patches throughout the night. It wasn't sleeping continuously. And after about 2 weeks into the detox, he would just casually get his little blanket that he would carry around. He'd put himself in his bed and go to sleep by 9, 10 p.m. and sleep through the night. He would stim like all kids do, but then he had one certain stim. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to kind of explain what we saw with the detox. He would stim every night. He would start at about 8 p.m. He would lay on the nightstand next to my bed, flat on his stomach, and kind of plink. And he would sit there for 3-4 hours at a time and just sit there and kind of stiffen up and make some noises. And he even seemed uncomfortable doing it. But when we would try to stop him, he would have a tantrum. And we just couldn't stop him. This went on every single night for hours and hours and hours. And then about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks into the heavy metal detox, that just stopped one night. And it's been over 1.5 years, and he's just never done it again. Yeah. So I do agree that, you say that there are no studies showing that it cures autism, or I'm sorry, I don't mean to quote you, but however you said it. But I do feel that, one thing that's not debatable is that heavy metals are a neurotoxin, and they can delay development. So if a child does have heavy metal toxicity, high levels, do you not agree that maybe detoxing from those heavy metals would be beneficial? I'm not saying it would cure them, but maybe alleviate some of the symptoms.
Yeah, that is you described the theory behind it perfectly. And first of all, I just want to congratulate you on the progress that you've seen with your child.
Thank you.
And that cannot be ignored. I've seen progress with my son recently too. And he goes all the therapies and does everything. And we're starting to hear some words coming out of him, and it's
That's
being
great.
a game changer. And I guess what the first thing I want to say is that our kids progress and they grow all the time. And whatever we are trying to do to help them, it's so normal for us to just attribute that whatever it is that we're doing is the thing that's influencing that improvement. But we don't know, like the scientific way of doing that would to be a reversal design where you have to, or do a placebo, like a randomized clinical trial, which we're not doing. So like any of us who are just saying, hey, we did this thing and we saw this result, we need to accept that it's just an anecdote, that we don't have any proof that what we did made it happen.
Of course.
But you can say you did the detox and you also saw growth in your child. But I'm certain you've seen growth in your child outside of times that you did that as well. And
Yes.
so what I like to do is, instead of just relying on my own knowledge, like these studies are pretty powerful. Like, imagine if you were part of these clinical trials and you didn't know if what your son was getting was placebo or really a detox thing. And you had to report on your kid's behavior. And then they compare that with thousands of kids going through and doing these clinical trials. Well, that's what they've done. And when they do that, these procedures are in no way associated with improved autism symptoms. We're not even talking about curing autism. It's just not even any improvement in autism symptoms. So those tests, no pediatrician that's out there that is like reputable and good standing, like recommends by default to go get like heavy metal testing unless there's like an incident or something concerning. A lot of what you'll see is you can get a lot of these tests from links and bios here on TikTok. Find out where your kids' toxicity levels are. And every time, it reminds me of going to, like, I don't know, do you ever go get your oil changed and they come out and show you how dirty your stuff is?
Exactly.
And how I don't know, like they show you everything and like, oh man, like, do you want me to do a free alignment check for you? Like, oh, this is 0.003 and it comes out all red. 3 of the tires are yellow and 1 of them is red. We don't know what the numbers mean, but it's red. We know red is bad. And a lot of those tests, that's kind of what they do, is the same people who do the test also are selling you supplements to address the toxicity. And so real heavy metal toxicity is to the point where it can absolutely cause brain damage. Not autism, brain damage. And that's like severe mercury or lead poisoning. And in those moments, you need to go to the ER and immediately be treated. But your body naturally is able to detox. Our kidneys and our livers filter it out. And so if they tested it on you or with anybody, any person, I guarantee they would show heavy metals, because everyone that I talk to, they do the test and heavy metals show up. And so it's totally one of those things that it sounds scientific, the theory sounds cool, but there's no research basis behind it. And they're playing you in your most vulnerable moment, where you will do anything for your 3.5-year-old. It was probably 2 at the time. I'm the same way. I will move mountains for my children. And if that means I go and do testing and we figure out the blood levels and we do all of that, I absolutely will. But I'm talking too much. What do you think about what I'm saying here?
So I agree with a lot of what you're saying. So when we found out about the heavy metals, my wife decided to contact a holistic doctor that she found online. And oh my gosh, they were such a scam. Yeah. It was like $400 or $500 for the initial consultation. And then they recommended these blood tests. And then when we went to go get the blood test, we called them we're like, hey, you didn't send the prescription for the blood test. Oh, it's another $500. We sent it. Yeah. And then the blood test got to him and they're like, okay, we didn't get the results yet. Well, it's another $500. We paid for that. Oh my gosh. And then we got the results and we're like, okay, what's the plan of care? Well, if you want to go forward with the plan of care, that's going to be $2,500. And then we realized, okay, this is obviously a huge scam. And then we went to a regular pediatrician where we followed up on the test. And like I said before, he did have the heavy metals, very high in a lot of them. We did the detox, we saw the results. And then once we checked them again, it was lower. Now, another thing, obviously, you know more than I do. You have a master's degree. Sounds like you've been dealing with this for a long time. Dylan has something called an MTFHR gene mutation. Yeah. And I read somewhere that when children have that gene mutation, it makes it harder for their bodies to self-detox these heavy metals. And that made me believe that maybe that's why Dylan saw help with this detox, because his body couldn't detox it on his own.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another way that this spreads. I mean, you are saying all the right things. That is what the biggest voices in this marketing space shares. The MTHFR is one of the most over marketed gene variations out there. That it's what 40 to 50% of the population have the MTHFR gene variation.
Yeah, that's what I read.
And yeah, there are real differences. They're very, very minor. And typically speaking, like you need to really consult with a pediatrician informed on it, not like a holistic doctor or something, on what that actually means for you. Usually it means very, very small tweaks. But even in those circumstances, you're not going to have like heavy metal in the blood that you need a detox from. Like that's not going to be a thing. I'm curious. You said you took it to the pediatrician. What did the pediatrician say when you showed the blood results? Did they prescribe you medicine to address it?
No, so we told him we were already starting the detox, and he looked at the ingredients. They were all natural. It was a mild detox.
Okay.
Real quick, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah, you're fine.
a lot of people in here are asking me questions. Is it okay if I answer their questions?
Let's not just
Let's
'cause
stick to the topic.
I just
Yeah.
don't want to. I just don't want to like. I
Yeah, I'm
really
not
don't
trying to
want to
take over
promote
your.
this
I'm
stuff
trying
at
to take
all.
over. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You're right.
I got to be
Okay.
careful on my platform. Yeah.
No, totally understood.
But if you
So
see
anyway,
some that's not promoting the detox stuff, you can totally answer if it's just little things. Yeah.
yeah, they were just asking how I found out, and it was just a blood test
Yeah.
that the pediatrician could run. Anyway, so I showed him the results. He's a developmental pediatrician. He says he's in this for 25 years. Sees a lot of autistic children, and he said he does see a lot of children with high heavy metals. But what surprised me is he said Dylan was the first he's had seen with so many heavy metals that were so high. Like, you know how the chart will be like the green, the yellow, and the red? Well,
Yeah.
most of the heavy metals for Dylan were way into the red, like arsenic, uranium, cadmium. And he did say, do the detox. And he's like, certain metals will cause certain things. At the time, Dylan would only eat Chips Ahoy cookies and Lay's potato chips. If I didn't feed him those two things, he would literally starve.
Yeah.
And the pediatrician told me some of these heavy metals, it messes with their cravings. And, see if that helps, then we know that maybe this is working. So about a couple of weeks into the detox, Dylan would start to try new foods. And since then, he'll try just about anything. But before the detox, I'd offer him candy and ice cream and even sweets, and he would want nothing to do with anything but cookies and potato chips.
Wow.
And then a few weeks into the detox, he started to try and started to eat everything. Like he just brought his mom a can of Campbell's soup. I didn't even know how he knew what it was because he never had it before. He wouldn't eat it. And she made it for him and he ate the whole can. So I just took that as, okay, then this detox must be working because it was such a quick change and so many different things.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what was counted as a mild detox. And I'm really curious to hear your pediatrician's thoughts on it. But what was the test? Was this the oat test? That's usually the gut. What's the name of the heavy metal test that you did, and where did you get that test from?
So I ordered from the scam doctor. They
Yeah.
ordered the heavy metal test. I don't know the name of it, and we did it at like just kind of like one of the regular clinics around town that's affiliated with like a healthcare network around here.
Yeah.
And then with the pediatrician, he ordered a couple of other tests. He reordered the heavy metal test. I don't know what the names of it was. He just reordered to see if the detox was working, if the levels have went down, and they did. They went back to zero.
Yeah.
And then we checked for some allergies. He did some DNA tests. We checked for like a celiac, gluten thing, all types of allergy stuff like that. He checked another test that it was kind of just to see. I'm sorry for not having all the information, but
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Another test was just to see like his DNA to see if there was certain medications that would disagree with him later in life. I honestly don't know what that was about, but it's just something that he.
I mean, that one. There's actually some good evidence on some of the. It's how your body metabolizes some medications. Most likely, there is some true blood work that you can do that can. It's still very minimal. Like all these things are such small things, and my concern with it is when we start promoting this, like this is any of this stuff. First of all, the detox stuff. I have so many cited studies that when you look at the general population, any of this detox stuff, unless you're talking about like your kid got lead poisoning, we're not talking about like the mild elevation. And maybe you were like the 1 in a million that, I mean, maybe your kid got into something and like they actually found real heavy metal toxicity. But like the general public, there is no, like they've done these studies like over and over, and there's no like clear benefit, no outcomes when you compare the detox to placebo. And so, like, I know that doesn't discredit your experience. And when we've already in our brain attributed that progress to something, our brain does not like to disassociate that and think of what else it could be. But like, I just worry about the entire detox industry, because what they frame it as is, if you have a child with autism, you need to do these tests because autism comes from the heavy metals damaging the brain. And so test the heavy metals. Let's get rid of the heavy metals through this detox protocol. And it sounds very scientific. Like, we'll do the blood work. We'll see where your levels are. And then we'll create a custom plan for you. But the whole idea behind it is just wrong, because like, people, their body detoxes. Their body can already detox. Kids with autism, there's no evidence that their bodies fail to detox. And these protocols, I mean, some of them aren't harmful. Like, I bet the stuff you did, it probably didn't have a whole lot of risk, but there are some that have some serious risk to them. Especially if you start getting into the chelation therapy, where they're actually stripping the heavy metals directly from the blood instead of just natural supplements. And so I really do just encourage people that are listening here to make it easier on yourself. Don't be sold. If you see an ad online, if you want to do everything you can for your kid, this is one of those that the evidence is not in our favor to pursue that. It's not worth it. There are real therapies that are very clearly evidence-based. And I don't think the guest is saying this, but a lot of people who talk about toxicity and detoxing, they treat autism as though it's a disease or a toxin to rid from the body. I really have appreciated your way of looking at it, of like, hey, look, maybe this heavy metal changes appetite and changes cravings, and maybe this supplement helped with that. And you worked in line with your pediatrician. Honestly, of all the detox people I've talked to, you worked with your pediatrician on this, and like, they would have caught some of the red flags if they were doing something truly harmful. And so, like, I'm impressed. I just think it's still one of those things that for the general person who just has a kid with autism, like, there are better paths to go. Keep your life simple. You don't need to worry about every single supplement, every single detox protocol. Do you have any last thoughts about this?
No, I really appreciate all your feedback on that. I guess the last couple things I want to mention is, obviously everything I said tonight was just my experience, anecdotal. I'm not a doctor, nor am I in the medical field at all. I just wanted to kind of share our experiences. Another thing I want to say is just, it's such a great job, Kylan, what you're doing on here.
Oh, thank you.
It gives a lot of people a lot of clarity and just a sense of community. It's really great.
I'm curious your thoughts too, because I'm kind of new to the, like, bringing people up who disagree. Have you felt like, has this been an okay experience? Have you felt like I've been, I don't know, antagonistic or rude at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. I probably wouldn't have came up. The only reason I did want to come up is because I noticed you talking to other people, and even some of the people who were really harsh with you.
Yeah.
You seemed to handle it pretty gracefully. So I thought we'd be able to have a pretty decent conversation, you and I.
Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you for coming up. You have a good night, and best of luck to you and your wonderful family.
Thank you. You too, Kylan.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye. All right, you guys. That's what these conversations are all about. I love hearing people's stories and learning and doing things. I want to break down some of this research with a detox. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up in my link tree.
While you're pulling that up,
Yeah.
Kylan, I just want to let everybody know this is not a place where we're giving medical advice or telling you what you should or should not be doing. If you hear anything on this live that you think may be helpful for your child, we're always going to redirect you to talk to your pediatrician first.
Yeah.
We are not consultations. We are not giving medical advice. We're only having conversations. So if you feel like this is something that will work for you or your child, talk to your pediatrician. They should always be the number one person you talk to.
Thank you for sharing that. I just messed up my link tree, everybody. Oh no. Keep talking, Lexi. Keep talking. I ruined this.
Perfect. Since Kylan is busy, I see that our likes are at 33.1K. Kylan does this out of the goodness of his heart. He's not getting paid for this. We're not asking anybody to pitch in any money. But if you wouldn't mind just tapping the screen maybe 10 times, we have 123 beautiful people in here. I know that if each one of us taps the screen 10 times, we can definitely get him to 50K and maybe even get some new people in here that could help us with, bringing this close to the For You page for more people to tell us more
Yeah.
stories.
I also think it's good to get comments going, but also I like to see who's here. If you are if you are a parent of a child with autism, put 1 in the chat. If you have autism, put 2 in the chat. If you're here to just learn about autism, put 3 in the chat. And let's see who we got here. I think we got a lot of autism parents. And I see a comment on YouTube that I need to get to. I am losing people's trust here. We got a lot of 1s, a lot of 3s, a lot of 2s. Guys, a lot of people are here. Thank you. This is wonderful. Let's see. Oh, Amy, yes, that's good too. All right, so there's a question here. Can autism be caused by physical or mental trauma? This is a good question. So physical or mental trauma, especially the physical trauma, is referred to as an acquired brain injury. And that is not, to have a diagnosis of autism, it has to be separate from a different diagnosis. And so for that one, it's most likely, even if you have similar symptoms or autism-like behaviors, it would probably fall closer under acquired brain injury, unless the thought is it's separate from the brain injury. So, and mental trauma, no, it's apart from both of those. Autism is something you're born with. And something that it's just the way that your brain functions, not something that you catch later in life, not something from toxins that you get later in life, not something from trauma that you have. It's not the way that you parent your child. For all of you autism parents, have you ever been made to feel like you caused this in your child? Because I know I have. I get that a lot. Asking how much screen time do you let them have? Things like that. That's why we do these lives, you guys, because there's so much misinformation, and a lot of the misinformation harms us as autism parents. Okay, let's go ahead. Good. Oh, shoot. There we go.
I also think Mom of Boys is here too. So.
Oh, Mama Boys, thanks for being here. Oh my goodness. I'm glad that you're here. I hope everything's going well. So good to see you on here. Let's go ahead and get the next person in. A little bit about me while we're waiting. If you are new here, I go live every day. For the past few days, it's been twice a day for 2 hours each. And I'm on TikTok. I'm also on YouTube. And if you miss any of my lives, but you are so excited to learn and hear some of these conversations, you can go back and listen to any of my YouTube lives in the past. And they stay on record there. So you can go back and reference them. I have 2 kids with autism. I am a board certified behavior analyst. I've worked with wonderful people with autism and other disabilities since 2013, and I'm the CEO of a company in Utah that serves throughout the state of Utah different people with disabilities and autism. My whole life is autism, you guys, and in my free time, I like to come on here and talk to my wonderful village. I see you guys as my village, so Bree, that's a meaningful statement. I don't feel like I caused it, but I worry about not perfectly parenting him through it. Bree, we don't have to be perfect parents for our kids. In fact, if we burn out in the effort of becoming perfect, we are doing our children a disservice. I'm going to say that again because I don't think y'all listened. If we burn ourselves out in the pursuit of perfection for our child, we're doing them a disservice because they need us for a long time. This is not a short play here. This is a lifelong thing that they're going to need us. And so if you're taking care of yourself and you're doing the best you can with them, you're in a pretty good spot, okay? All right, you guys. Let's bring up some more guests. We got people in the chat or in the guest box here. We got Amy. I didn't even see that Amy was in here. I'm sorry, Amy. I'm also going to bring Kaya up. We got Amy and Kaya loading in. How is everyone doing? Kaya, how are you and where are you calling in from?
Hey, so I'm calling in from New Zealand.
Oh, that's cool. Wonderful. What time is it in New Zealand?
It is 5:32 p.m.
Not too bad. You got the evening just starting for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Amy, it's not letting me load it in. You can request again, but it didn't let you load in. But yeah, go ahead. Are you coming up because you feel like maybe vaccines cause autism, or you have some thoughts on detox?
So I'm an autistic ADHD human being
Yeah.
who has had to suffer with judgments of people, and I've heard, if you just get baptized, or if you get this detox, or if you get this shot, or if you stop taking medicine, then my symptoms will go away and I will be cured and my brain will work like it's supposed to. And one thing I want to say is people with autism, their brains aren't meant to fit in with the way we've been programmed to be. I'll say that one more time. People with autism are not programmed to exist in the world that was created as socially acceptable, meaning that we have our own thoughts, our own way of looking at life. Should be seen and heard, because it shouldn't be one or the other, it should be both. But the reason I came up is because I am really passionate about autism, because I obviously have it and I want to educate people. And I just had a question to all of my fellow ADHD mums out there. With detox, why do people have this sense of mind that a detox is going to cure symptoms? Like, I've been hearing from people that it will alleviate some symptoms, but is that because it's alleviating a balance, or it's alleviating the actual symptoms?
Yeah. And
Of
it's not doing
it.
either, but people think it does. And I think you're spot on, because the problem with the detox theory is it suggests that autism is something separate from the person. It's saying that there is this thing that's clouding your brain, making you the way that you are, that we're able to get rid of or modify based on the detox protocols. And it's not founded in science, it's founded in people's experience and anecdotes. And that's the real concern with it. And Kaya, I appreciate you coming up. I mean, I appreciate your advocacy. Thank you for being here. And I hope you have a good rest of your night. I agree with everything she was saying there. Let's go ahead.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. I really appreciated that. Let's see if there's anyone else up here. MLR. Let's see if it loads you in. Okay. Oh, there you go. It worked. Hello. Where are you calling in from?
Hi. As of last Thursday, North Carolina.
Hey, you just moved, huh?
Yeah.
Or you were traveling?
Just a quick back. I just moved for my nephew.
Wonderful.
Little bit of background. One, my name is Michael. I am 52 years old. I was diagnosed 2016 as high functioning Asperger's with alexithymia.
Wow.
I believe you've got maybe the right idea as far as vaccines or detox, but I don't think as a general statement it's the cause or it's the cure. I think it's a vaccine for an individual person. It's how our body processes that vaccine or how our body processes that detox, that heavy metal. The reason I say that is from a young age, I haven't been able to drink milk because my body doesn't know how to process the calcium. But throughout my life, I've had a craving for spinach. And come to find out, spinach actually has more calcium than milk. It just is in a different form, and that's the way my body is able to process it.
Body's
So
amazing,
I think,
huh? Craving the things
yeah,
that
absolutely.
that we need, and
Right.
yeah,
Yep. But I don't think to point the finger at a vaccine or to point the finger at a heavy metal detox is the right way. I think it's how our individual body adapts or changes
So
or
do you think there's some people that their bodies adapt to the vaccine in a way of developing autism?
I don't have the information to say yes or no, but I do think it is a possibility. But like I said, because like at a young age, I think my nephew or my cousin he was mumps or rubella,
Yeah.
and he was given. I mean, I grew up at public school, so we had all the normal vaccines, but I think it was mumps or rubella. They gave us a shot in our butt, and it hurt in our butt. But anyways, he developed not a problem. I developed, like I said, high functioning Asperger's with alexithymia.
Yeah.
And to me, I think as a young child, here's a book, and I loved books. I fell in love. I had just at a young age, daycare, this kid wanted the book, and no, I'm reading it. And he ripped it from me and tore the page. And it hurt my heart, and I cried, and it just, But also at a young age, I was also, emotions are, you make a decision today on your emotion can be one way. But tomorrow, with the same exact information, because you feel your emotions are a different way, you have a different decision or a different look. So
Are you
I think
okay if
at
I jump in
perfect
here for a
age-
second?
Sure.
Okay. So I appreciate you coming up here and talking about this, especially being vulnerable about your own diagnosis. I want to talk about this idea that some people, like their bodies may have reacted to the vaccine in a way that has brought on autism. Another way I've heard people say that is like, it's not the vaccine, it's the genetics that load the gun and the vaccine that pulls the trigger. Like that's a similar thing that kind of you're saying, but maybe not for everybody. But then you were also open and said like you're just open to the possibility of that. And I want to tell you that I think that type of attitude of I'm open to the possibility is what I'm seeing so common and what honestly terrifies me. Because it's the same language that the CDC put on their website. The CDC used to say, and again, I'm not coming after you at all. Like, I really appreciate you coming up and sharing your thoughts and being open about this. So I hope you're not feeling like I'm coming after you at all. I just want to talk through this. So the CDC used to say on their website that vaccines do not cause autism. Well, the CDC recently updated their website, and they said the claim vaccines do not cause autism is not an evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility. This is very much what you're saying. The studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. So let me
agree.
Let me ask you this. What would it take, do you think, for a study to rule out the possibility that vaccines cause autism?
More information, and specifically to make that determination, they should test everyone on the planet. at the same time, I mean, that again, that would be logistically impossible.
Yeah.
So I think it's autism is calls from our digestive tract and how we process foods, how we are able to, and how our body reacts to those
Well,
foods.
we know autism develops in utero while you know the mother is pregnant. Like that's very clear, and we know that genetic plays a really big role because all the risk factors that we've ever found, because we know a lot, they all take place when the baby is in the pregnant mother. And so it's fascinating. I want to touch though on this of this idea that there's this possibility, right? There's this possibility out there that vaccines cause autism, and we can't say that there's not this possibility. You say we need more information. It's the same thing the CDC is saying. There's a problem with that because there is never enough information to be able to rule out a negative in science. And so we could do a study and we could say every single child with autism drank water before. And so I think it's water that is causing autism. And we did a study and it didn't show any link, but we can't rule out the possibility that it does because no studies can. But I got to tell you this, they have done studies and they have studied millions and millions of kids. And if it were true at all, if there was even a little bit of a correlation, it would have come up. But instead, there are zero studies out of the dozens and dozens that have been done. There are zero studies that have found any correlation with any of the vaccines and autism. And so you either need to agree that like technically science has to say like, well, I guess we didn't prove 100% because all we can do is keep doing more of these studies and finding no correlation. No correlation doesn't mean that you found, ruled out every single possibility. But it's more likely that some of these things that have never been studied, which are obviously not. When I said water, that was to be silly. Okay, water does not cause autism. But we can look at these things that we don't have evidence that me throwing a baseball causes autism. We can't prove that the sun doesn't give you autism. Like there's so much that we could say it doesn't cause autism, and us just opening the door forever to say it could. That's dangerous. It's dangerous because it reprioritizes our efforts. There are real things that we could be studying and putting more efforts into studying. Like if we weren't so focused on doing vaccines over and over and over and over again, we could actually put more resources into studying leucovorin, which has a lot of promise. I don't recommend it yet for people. It's still in early stages, but I would love to have more resources to be able to study that instead of pushing on vaccines over and over. So I guess I just want to push back a little bit on you to say we have enough info to say vaccines don't cause autism. The scientific world, that there's literally no possible way to have enough info to say there's not even a possibility. But we're talking about like a 1 in quadrillion chance. This is not like a likelihood that it's that way. It is like a technicality in the language of science to say, oh, technically there's a possibility. Just like there's a possibility that gravity's not going to work in 5 minutes, right? Do you think gravity is not going to work in 5 minutes? Absolutely not. Like we know gravity will still be here in 5 minutes, but science can't prove it, so there's a possibility. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I just have two things on that.
Of course.
One, part of my problem with people saying vaccines cause or don't cause is a lot of that is funded by the Rockefellers, the global elites who put money being a commodity or a medicine or money being a commodity versus actually healing. So I agree. One thing for one person is for that one person, and to say as a blanket thing is not saying. The reason I say that is because of number two. Being a combat veteran, I've gone to the hospital and they've given me what's called Zofran, and Zofran is an anti-nausea. But being myself and specifically me, I can't take Zofran because as a combat veteran, it puts me in a mind state to where I can't differentiate between are you a friend or are you a foe?
Yeah.
And that kill or be killed, it puts a nurse or my next door neighbor's life, because I can't control that.
Yeah.
So for me, Zofran is a death sentence.
Yeah.
But for someone else, it's an anti-nausea. So again, it goes back to, I believe that in our digestive and how our body processes vitamins, nutrients, minerals, etc., etc.
So you brought up some potential conflicts in the research studies that I cited, and that is a totally fair thing to do. Like, that's a fair argument. I just want to make sure you know you're switching the argument. So instead of saying like there's a possibility because you've like this is your experience and what you've seen and we can't rule it out, now you're saying like, yeah, there's all these studies, but you don't believe the integrity of those studies. Is that right?
I guess to come down, I don't have enough information to make a
You don't know if you can trust those studies.
Right.
Okay.
I can't say yes. I can't say no. I just say I am
appreciate that.
ignorant to that knowledge. I am ignorant to being educated in specifically those. And being yourself, you're an autism advocate and such. You would know more about that specific topic than I do.
I mean,
I'm
not an expert on everything either. We're learning together. If you did know something, I'd go look it up with you, and we would learn together. That's what this is all for. So, not about one person being right. It's just about advocating for people that need us. So, well, why don't you go ahead and share your final thought? And I'm going to go ahead and move on, but I want to give you a chance to kind of share your final thoughts here with us.
Sure. Being myself, I think I came around at a perfect timing for the world. Yeah. Star Trek had just come out, and to me, because of cutting emotion out and basing everything on logic, for example, Leonard Nimoy's Spock was the perfect father figure, advocate, someone that I looked up to. And I tell people I'm as human as any Vulcan can be, and I'm as Vulcan as any human can be by taking the emotion out and looking only at logic. But again, that is specifically for me, not for to blanket someone else's reason. And I don't think I could ever be cured, and I would never want to be cured, because as
you're not broken.
Learning.
You're not a toxin.
I'm not broken. I'm just different.
Your brain works in the way that it works. And it doesn't mean you're the same as everyone else who has your same diagnosis. You are different. You are your own person, and you are not broken. A beautiful takeaway. I hope you have a wonderful night. That is spot on. Thank you for sharing that, and I think it's a message we can all take. You guys, this is meaningful. This is meaningful conversation. It really is. I think it can be productive, and I hope that we have people who. I mean, it sounds like we have people who are open-minded, and I'm open-minded. We can learn, but I'm not gonna if we do go down the rabbit hole of saying that the research is what we don't believe, the amount of work that would have to go into to compromise that much research, we're talking about a conspiracy bigger than faking the moon landing, which I probably shouldn't even get started on here. There may be people here that would be pretty vocal about that. I don't know. But like, we're talking about tens of thousands of people across all of these studies who would have to be in on this to, and the researchers plus some of the participants plus some of the journal editors and peer reviewers. Like, we're talking about a lot of people that would be, oh no, Amy, this will be a topic. One of these nights we'll do conspiracy theories not related to autism, and that'll be it. That'll be one of our nights. We can all go down rabbit holes of conspiracy theories we believe. I will. Oh no, Amy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. But one of those conspiracies is not these autism studies. I mean, it's been done across countries with different people, different institutions. with people connected to some and some connected to no one, and the data all overlaps. There has only been one time that a published research article showed a connection between vaccines and autism. Only one. And that was the infamous study back in the 90s, I think 98, that showed the link between autism and MMR that was later found to be fraudulent, and the doctor had his medical license removed. And so if we're wanting to talk about like fraudulent data and like fraud happening to question results, the only time that we've seen that has been times when people are trying to prove that there is a link between autism and vaccines. So interesting stuff. I don't know, Amy. I feel like you're being serious here, and I'm a little bit worried. And we may need to have this conspiracy theory live sooner rather than later. Jocelyn says, I want to know more about stem cell therapy. Okay, stem cell therapy is one of those that it costs $15,000 to $20,000 to go get stem cell therapy. It's one of those that you have to go out of the country for or be in part of a clinical trial. Stem cell therapy, there is good theory behind it, but there is no evidence established yet to prove any kind of improvement of symptoms based on stem cells. When we pay a lot of money or we do a lot of effort for our child, and then we see that child progress, it is so easy to have the bias of like affirming that what we did is what caused the good thing to happen, right? If you go and you spend $20,000 on a procedure for your son, whether or not it works or not, you are going to be looking out for every potential improvement that you're seeing and attributing it to that treatment. And so you do get people with anecdotes that it works. This is why double-blind studies are so important, because you can have how they do these is some people get stem cells and other people go through the exact same procedure. They just don't use actual stem cells, and then they measure the difference across months. And so far, there have not been clear benefits of stem cell therapy for autism. So Arden says vaccines don't cause autism directly, but the stress they bring to babies can trigger pre-existing conditions. No, they probably could, but not autism. Not autism. There is no connection between vaccines and autism. The research has been clear on that. Cat Meow says there are so many vaccines administered at the same time. Who knows anything? Cat, so, okay, let's see. I got my vaccines in Europe from birth to 5. After 5, I lived in the U.S. and got American vaccines. Yeah. I think pharmaceuticals did something. Guys, there can be side effects of vaccines, but they're very rare, and autism is not one of them. So you can talk bad about vaccines. You can have concerns over the schedule, but here's my concern. In this press conference, when they announced Tylenol being a factor, which was later debunked, and then they talked about leucovorin, which is still an emerging care. It's not recommended for everybody yet. They also brought up that even though there's no evidence to do so, or that there's no evidence between vaccines and autism, due to the amount of people that are concerned by it, they're going to change the vaccine schedule. And so what we're hearing here is we're making medical decisions and policy decisions because of overwhelming misinformation and distrust of a process instead of what is actually better for a baby. I had a doctor on here the other day who told me that a baby could get every single vaccine that is available and not even be close to being at risk for heavy metal, what is it called? Heavy metal toxin. Heavy metal, what is it called? Heavy metal toxicity. And
Yeah,
And
that's it. Heavy metal
heavy
toxicity.
metal, no, there's another word, heavy metal damage. No, there's a more damaging word. Not that you would do that. Kat says, tell me how my child was fine, then after 1.5 things changed. Yeah, come on up. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
How are you,
So
Kat?
first, I just do want to know your qualifications. Are you a doctor? Who are you, basically?
Yeah. So, my name's Kylan. It's nice to meet you. And I got 2 kids with autism. So I have
So do I. So do I.
wonderful.
But they are on two sides of the spectrum. One is perfectly, he's functioning, chatting away. The other, well, let's just say leucovorin has been a miracle along with the methyl B12 injections.
Okay.
So she's gone from completely barely verbal to saying full phrases and being able to communicate. So leucovorin is actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm excited about the leucovorin and how
Yeah.
promising it can be.
And going back to the vaccines, like my children were perfectly normal as babies. It all started after one, which we can go back to see how many vaccines were administered at that time.
Yeah.
When you have a child who eats like pretty much anything and then starts getting picky, it's kind of changing things. So after 1.5, it all starts going down.
Where do you live? Where are you at?
California.
You're in California? What part? That's a big state.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's
Anyways,
great. So do you
I
just
had
have 2
a
kids then?
baby. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
And
they're like barely 2 years apart, like 18 months, not even 2.
that's how ours
But
is.
yeah.
Yeah. How old are they?
9 and 7.
9 and 7. And how are you doing? Are you holding in there? Do you have
Always.
Do you have a village that's supporting you?
Oh,
and your
huge
kids?
village.
Good. That's what I like to hear. So you asked me about who I am and everything, and I was just barely getting started. I definitely don't share any of this to try to say how much knowledge I have, but I'm a board certified behavior analyst, so I work with kids with autism. I've been doing it since 2013. I have a master's degree in autism studies, and then I'm currently the CEO of a company that provides autism services throughout the state of Utah. And so
nice.
my whole life is autism right now. That doesn't mean I know
But
everything.
you can't really say anything about the vaccines because you didn't research it, though. We don't have any evidence because no
Are you
one wants
saying
to go
there
against
haven't
the
been any
pharmaceutical
studies on it?
companies.
I also want to preface this by, like, you're kind of coming on really strong, and I want you to know, like, I'm trying to kind of, I was asking you questions to try to friendly things up a little bit here. We're not enemies. We're both autism parents. We
Right.
both
I
have
just
2
want to let
kids
you
with
know that you
autism.
can't just take away the blame from the vaccines. I just think that there is some blame to give to the vaccines, like how many you give at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
Do you know of any studies that we've done researching this? Have you looked
we
at that at
don't
all?
have any because no one wants to do it.
You
We
don't
throw
think we have any
Tylenol under the
studies?
bridge.
We don't think we
How
have
many
any
studies? There
studies?
was only that one guy who did it, but everybody else
Oh
basically
my
doesn't want to
gosh.
go against it.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm disconnecting you just because I'm worried about the direction this is gonna go. I, as a fellow autism parent, please stick around for the other lives where we do more parent support things. But please check out my bio, because if you really think that we have never studied the relationship between vaccines and autism, we have done more studies into that than just about anything else in medical science. Absolutely more than anything in the autism medical field. And so the studies are out there with millions and millions of kids. And I just didn't feel like that was a productive conversation. And like, there are reasonable arguments. Like if you had concerns about methodology there, but you didn't even know that there were those studies. So I just want to encourage you to go ahead and look at those, okay? The link is in my bio. I don't want things to get too crazy here. This isn't that kind of a platform. It's more of meaningful conversations. So thank you for understanding there. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Lexi, were you fighting to not go off mute there?
Oh my goodness gracious. I was like, Alex, don't go off mute.
How did we do?
Don't go off
Am I
mute.
doing okay keeping things calm here? Are we keeping positive vibes, Lexi?
I think
I
so.
hope so.
Yeah, we're having conversation with people that can actually have those conversations and are in the right headspace. We don't need more negativity coming towards parents of children who have autism.
Part of me wants to, though.
So yeah,
Lexi,
I like it.
I feel like you coming up here is kind of the equivalent of like if we were, I don't know, at a bar or something and you were like holding me back or something. Like that's what we're doing up here. You're up here to remind me that these are calm discussions and we're being really
And I
good
will
with
check
doing
you
that.
if I have to.
I know you will. I know.
With much love, but I will check you just to make sure we don't get too crazy in
guys,
here.
this space is safe for autism parents, and I don't want that to change. And I want to have meaningful conversations. But Amy, how are you doing?
I'm good. No, yeah, I had to leave the live for a second there because I
with her?
I couldn't deal with that. I don't know. See, first of all, like you're my friend and you're one of my people, and I can't, when people talk to my people like that, I just can't. So I had to scroll away from the live because I was about to be a little bit disrespectful in the comments, and I was like, let me not do that.
You can't do that when you're modding.
I know. I was like, I'm a mod. I have to be a grown up. So I texted Lexi. I said, I'm going to step away. You let me know when he drops her and I'll come back.
Oh, that's funny, you guys. That's funny. Guys, it is late. I need to be hopping off here, but I'll be back up in the morning. Do you guys have anything else you want to say or talk about before I drop?
No, not at all.
No?
I'm just hanging out with a sick kiddo. So
I'm sorry.
I do. Tomorrow, Axel starts his first day at the new school.
Oh my gosh. That's a big deal.
I'm excited about that and nervous and kind of anxious, but I mean, hopefully it'll be a good morning.
Oh, you know what? He's so excited for it. I'm sure. He remembers
it's going to be
it.
a great morning. I'm putting my best vibes out there for you.
Yay, thank you.
Come tell us how it's going tomorrow.
I will. I'll tell you tomorrow at the last 15 minutes.
All right. Well, let me tell everybody a little bit about what we're doing here. If you're new here and you are watching, please hit me a follow. We go live every day. The evenings, sometimes we do some more advocacy. In the mornings, it's a little bit more autism support. It's not about bringing up people that disagree. It's bringing up people that have questions or have stories or going through something hard, and we're there for each other. So please, if you're not following me, hit me a follow. And I just want to say thank you to the moderators, to Lexi, to Amy, and anyone else that's been helping. We want to keep things positive. Being peaceful during some of these conversations isn't always easy, but I think it's the right thing to do and the right way to approach it. So I go live every day about noon Eastern time, which is the same as 10 a.m. Utah time. And then sometimes the past few nights I've been getting on live at nights too, and kind of doing this more advocacy platform. So thank you guys.
Your wife is going to hate us.
You know what? She kind of likes the alone time. She gets overstimulated by, being around everybody all day. And then she kind of likes the alone time. So
there's got to be something cathartic about watching you have to dodge the hard balls too, because I know she's in here.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm so grateful I don't have to do this, but I am also so grateful that he is doing this.
She's like, yes,
Yeah, she
somebody
hates-
else is taking a jab at him. Let's see how he talks his way out of that one.
Let's see how he sweats.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Just wait until I got to talk to you about how it was stage 5 at Universal Studios
okay.
for the moon.
Okay,
I
we
know.
are. I'll
telling
need to
you.
have to come
Believe
prepared.
us.
I'll need to have
I
to come
know he
prepared.
doesn't. I'm prepared. Oh, I'm
not prepared.
I may as well just be an alien from outer space because I am so into it. I have researched
Same.
so many different aspects of crazy things. I am so ready.
Wait,
Same.
Lexi, do you believe that the moon landing was faked?
Of course.
Oh my gosh! Oh
You
my gosh!
don't?
Okay, we got 80 people in here. Who thinks
You
the moon landing
you
was
know
fake?
people
Put
have
yes or
come out
no.
and admitted it, right?
Put
Yeah,
yes or
there
no.
was people who said that they were the ones
There are
that were playing. Yeah, like
Yeah, there's people within NASA that have come out and been like, yeah, it was way too
No.
early for space
No.
travel
How do you
like
do
that.
a
because
poll?
They faked it.
Do you guys know how to do a poll? We gotta. Oh, what am I doing? What do we do?
I don't know how to
do
do
we
a poll.
poll?
Chat, if you don't have our backs, I'm coming for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I see a poll. I see
you'll
a poll.
all be muted,
Guys,
We're gonna mute every single one of you.
and there's 2 of us, so we can do it.
There's only 84 of you guys.
okay, we're gonna do 2 options. Do the smiling for let's see. Smiling is moon landing, and don't do it yet. And the crying is smiling is it was faked. The moon landing was faked. Crying means it was not faked. Okay. How do I? Okay.
Wait,
where's
sorry,
the
I
crying?
missed it.
Where's the crying? How do I? It's like the double crying one. Is it popping up? Do you guys just click on one?
Yes, we
Okay.
we can see
I've
it
never
on
done
our
this.
end.
Okay.
So,
again-
crying means it didn't happen.
No,
and-
crying means that it happened. The happy
okay.
means it was faked.
Oh, okay, okay.
Whoa. Are you guys kidding me?
Everybody is reasonable, it looks like.
Are you
looks
kidding
like our chat
me?
knows what's up. Looks
Yeah,
like there's
you're alone
7
on
of you
this
that
one.
need
We
further
usually-
education.
We usually back you up, but right now we're not.
I
backing
think you guys
up.
filled this platform with bots or something. Did you guys bring all the
we
bots
have
with
done
you
that.
today? These are
I don't know.
like
I don't know that
Russian
many bots.
Okay, where's the results? How do I? Okay, I'm struggling here.
The happy face is won. The crying
happy-
face is lost. It was 9-7.
I guess
Yep.
moon landing was faked, you guys. It's settled.
Yep.
Told
It's
you.
settled.
See, Amy and I were always right. You should just
when it's in
like
fact
your
not a
wife
bot.
is always right. We're always right too.
I didn't know this was a real thing that people believed. Like I thought this was just
There's
joked
a lot of
about.
factors that go into it. I mean, just looking at it from a basic thing. I mean, everybody's watched the video in history class or in school. Like the flag moves, and there's no way with no wind and no gravity that a flag would be able to move the way that flag moved.
Yeah,
It's
but
just kind of crazy.
Biscotti
That- and
is a
you can-
bot. Or is a bot. Don't you see her in the chat? She says bebop, bebop. Boop.
That's
So-
crazy, Biscotti. No, don't sell us out like this. No,
You know
no,
what? I'm
straight
going to
up,
come
there's-
prepared, and I am going to destroy. This was a baseline, and you guys won. Most people thought that it didn't happen. I'm going to come prepared with all the evidence, and we'll do polls after. I know I won't be changing your mind, Amy, but
Nope. I'm forever going to see those extra footprints on the ground. And
But
know
you
that
want
other
to
people
change
were
my
there.
mind?
I'll change your mind. I can change your mind, Lexi.
Oh, Lexi's never going to sway. She's she
she'll
knows.
sway. She'll sway.
We were there.
It's
We were
okay.
there that day.
Yeah, we were, Amy. I know we were, but that's okay. Let him try to persuade me. I think that would be
I'm
interesting.
I'm down. That should be the goal. Convince Lexi.
Yeah,
AMA
convince
convince
Lexi.
Lexi.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, you guys. I'll have to research it sometime. I that won't be tomorrow, you guys, but all right.
And we're talking about the moon landing. The video of the moon, the first steps on the moon.
All right, guys. I gotta
fake
go.
first
Thank you
steps on the
guys.
moon.
This was fun. All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye.